Hello once again, Niner Faithful, coming at you with another video here. This is continuing our series on the breakdown of Jimmy Garoppolo's 2018 season. Again, there was a lot of talk. Was he struggling at the beginning of the year? Was he overloaded by the full playbook? Was he not thinking and playing as quickly? What was going on? I know one of the games that he took a lot of flack for, again, even though it was a win, was this game against the Lions. He took 6 sacks. It didn't look that great when your quarterback takes 6 sacks, but I wanted to talk about this game and kind of see what was going on, what was happening, and why did this game turn out the way it is. This play here was, I'll get into it here in a little bit, was a touchdown against zone coverage, and so we're going to see how Jimmy Garoppolo did versus zone versus man, because that had a big role to play in how this game turned out, whether it was zone and whether it was man. So let's jump right in. Here, this is the first drive of the game against the Lions, and what we're going to do here is, if you've seen my other videos, I had one on how Shanahan helps his receivers out. This was in that collection, but I'm going to talk about it again, and excuse my drawing on this because the routes aren't going to go like they normally do, so I have to kind of hand draw these. But what happens is Detroit comes out, they're in man coverage, so they're just manned up here. And we run this play all the time where we fake a run up one side. I need to make this drawing bigger. Pardon. Where we fake a run to one side, we'll fake these guys down, and then we'll run a receiver over the middle. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run Garcon up the sideline. His job is going to be take his defender and run him up the sideline. This is Pt.3 in here, and what he's going to do is make it look like he's coming across the field, and he's going to break this off and come back the other direction. The idea is he's selling his defender on going across his field so that his defender sells out to chase him down. And then when he gets to a certain point on the field, he's going to cut and come back outside. And in theory, this is going to help break him free of this man coverage. So let's look at it real fast. So here, you see Garcon's here, Pettis is here. We fake the run. He's looking inside, and he breaks outside. And you can see it works. It gets him open, and we get an easy completion. Jimmy Garoppolo makes a good throw. He leads him out and back towards him, away from the safety. Here you see the run fake. You see how it grabs the underneath defenders. This is looking just like all these plays we run where we then hit a receiver right here after we've sucked these linebackers up. His defender is sold out, and Pettis makes a good cut. And because his defender is sold out, he leaves him in the dust. He gets a good completion, makes a little run after the catch. It's a good-looking play. This is how Shanahan, he was expecting man coverage. This is Matt Patricia. He's a Bill Belichick guy. He's going to come out in a lot of man coverage. So understanding that, this is in the scripted portion of the game where he's going to come out and know that I'm going to beat him with a double move. So this is a counter to a counter to a counter, that you counter your run plays with this play action, throw over the middle, and now you're countering that by bringing something else out. You're giving the defense another thing to look at. What he's trying to do is he's trying to force the defense out of man coverage. That's what these scripted plays are all about. So let's come back and we'll look at this play. What we're going to do is we're going to do something very similar. Again, this is during the scripted portion of the plays. And so, again, Detroit is in man coverage. And we have Pettis down here, and we have Garcon in here. What we're going to do is we're going to try and do the same thing. We're going to fake a run up the middle. I'll do this in red. We're going to fake a run up the middle, and we're going to keep in both of our tight ends to block and our running back into block. This is a two-man route, and what Pettis is going to do, this one's going to look like our pin concept. If you've ever seen that, a pin is a post plus in. So you're going to have a post on this side, and then you're going to have an in route from Pettis here. We run this play a lot, and we run it off a play action. Again, he's expecting that they're going to know that we run the pin off play action. So what he's then going to do is have Pettis break his route off from the in and break back outside. Problem here is that Pettis ends up not winning on his route. So let's see this. So we'll watch it full speed. You can see the fake. There's looking like the pin. His receiver gets grabbed. He's not really open if you pause it right here, he looks like he's kind of open, but he never really breaks that far open. And two, it takes him so long to break open that Jimmy Garoppolo's already moved on to try and look at Garcon. So you see the play action here, pulls all the underneath defenders up. He's looking at Pettis. Pettis did not win on his route on his initial take, so he moves on to Garcon. Garcon doesn't win, and at this point he's kind of stuck. A lot of people say, well, he should roll out, he should throw the ball away. Well, you have to understand he's inside the tackle box. If he doesn't throw it near a receiver, then it's going to be intentional grounding. He might have been able to throw it out the back of the end zone. That's kind of a long throw to just fire off it like that. Plus, at this point, you have no idea who's coming from where, because bear in mind, he's got 16 people around him right now. That when you consider all of his teammates that are kept in the block, and then the amount of defenders coming at him, he's got 16 people around him. That's a lot of traffic around one person, and it's hard also to break a quarterback out of a point where they try and exhaust the play. So, because sometimes when you have really good quarterbacks who can work through progressions, they want to exhaust the play. They want to make sure that the play gets through every opportunity to succeed. So because sometimes we can kind of look at our players in a vacuum, I wanted to show you another play. This was from the Patriots in Week 6 against the Chiefs, as you see here. And the Chiefs are going to come with a 3-man rush, and the Patriots expecting a lot of rush, and they were getting a lot of pressure from D Ford. What they're going to do is they're going to keep the running back in on he's a check and release, and then they're also going to keep Gronkowski on a check release. So it's mainly a 3-man route, and Kansas City covers it really well. And watch how Tom Brady does this, because again, he's the guy that almost everybody compares quarterbacks to, right? He's sitting here, he's trying to exhaust the play. He's looking. There's no one open. He rolls out. He's still looking. He's looking, and he gets sacked and fumbles the ball and turns it over. So while we can look at Jimmy Garoppolo and say he should have gotten rid of the ball, he should have thrown it away, he should have done this, sometimes when you have a quarterback who's used to exhausting the play, that's what they're going to do, and they're going to end up in sacks when everybody's covered. You see it with Tom Brady right here, that this happens. It's not just to our guy. And then here's another sack I wanted to talk about. Again, this is one that I don't really put on Jimmy Garoppolo, because what we're going to do here is we're going to run a couple concepts. So again, Detroit, they're in man coverage, so they're just manned up across the board, and it's looking like this. And what they're doing, these two defenders are in a read release. What that means is that one of them is going to blitz, one of them is going to shadow the tight end, in case it's a check release. So if it's an outside release, one of these defenders is going to cover him. If it's an inside release, the other one's going to cover him. It just kind of works like that. So I'm just going to put both these guys on him. You'll see what that does later. But so here, what we're going to do is we're going to run what's called a trail concept. If you play Madden, this actually looks a lot like the play tight end trail off of the 49ers playbook in there. But it's a trail concept is where you have one receiver following another one through. So then what we have is Trent Taylor's right here. He's going to jab step out, and then he's going to run across the formation following Pettis. Out here, this is use check. He's going to run a deep comeback. And this is Garcon. He's going to run a dig. And so we actually have two concepts going here. We have the trail plus what's called a shallow cross. Shallow cross is where you have a shallow crossing route and a dig coming behind it, giving a vertical stretch. That works against zone. So you have something that works against zone. You have another one that can work against zone, but also really works against man. So Shanahan's mixing concepts here. So it's on Garoppolo to identify where the concept's going to be. What he does is when we move use check out, he sees it's a safety on use check. So that means they're in man coverage. So what the key of what happens on this, when Kittle stays in to block, this D-end slash outside linebacker type, he's going to come and he's going to be on a rush. This guy is going to shadow like he's coming on a rush, and he's going to occupy the right tackle, McGlinchey. McGlinchey just kind of stares at him, and the other guy is going to sneak around and come through, and so Jimmy Garoppolo gets pressure in his face really quickly here. Also, Trent Taylor, coming off his back problems, did not get good separation on this. So here you see Trent Taylor's trying to take a jab step out. He's trying to get a little hand fighting here to get to win inside leverage. Never really wins, and is covered really well. Irregardless of that, you can see that with McGlinchey, staring at this defender over him, he never sees his other guy come and go right after Garoppolo. So Garoppolo's got pressure coming up right at him really quickly, and so he has to try and bail out. And the guys just, they cover it well, and they get him for a sack. This is one, you can say, well, your quarterback shouldn't take that many sacks, but it's hard to say this was just on him. There's nobody really open. Because then what Detroit was also doing is they were playing into a curl hook area with these two safeties. They're not playing deep, and so they end up effectively doubling Garcon on his. And Garoppolo could see this as he was dropping back. He saw the safeties taking a short set, and so they have Garcon doubled. Pettis, he might be able to get it to him, but it's also 3rd and 8 here. He needs to get to a first down. And again, the primary is Trent Taylor. A lot of times when you're in man coverage, you have to follow your primary at least through their first break. I mean, that's just what it's going to be. And then when you have a defender coming free at you right when your defender or your receiver is coming out of his first break and he hasn't won, there's not a lot of things you can do. So there's that. So all that to say, this is what Garoppolo looked like against zone. He didn't look great against man. Against man coverage, he was 7 of 13, and he took 6 sacks. That's not good. You're just over 50% completion, and you take 6 sacks. That, to me, when you're facing primarily man coverage, is more an indictment on your receivers than it is necessarily your quarterback. Because let's look at what Garoppolo did against zone coverage. So here, they're coming out, excuse me, that's the wrong one. They're coming out in zone coverage. How we know that is they've motioned. This is Alfred Morris. He's out wide, and he's got a corner on him. So Detroit is in just cover 3. So we have 3 deeps here, here, and here. And then we're going to have 4 underneath zones. So this is what this looks like. You have, or excuse me, that guy's going to go there. He's going to go there. He's there. He's there. And this play we actually run is the exact same concept that the Patriots ran in the Super Bowl against the Rams when they scored their touchdown and they had completed 3 passes one after another. And you heard Tony Romo talking on the broadcast. He said they're running the same play over and over again. This is that same play. As you see, there's different plays that teams will run, that they all tend to run a lot of the same plays or same concepts. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to run a hook. This is with Alfred Morris. It's on the outside. We're going to run, I believe this is Dante Pettis. Excuse me. We're going to run him on a seam route. He's going to look to come out and run up the seam, and then we're running use check on an option route. So he's got the option, depending on the leverage that this defender plays him. If he plays outside leverage, he's going to curl over the middle. If he plays inside leverage, then he's going to run a little speed out. This was the route Julian Edelman ran for the Patriots, and then this was the route Gronkowski ran for the Patriots. This was the route their running back ran. And so what Garoppolo is going to do is he's going to read the seam through. It's kind of an inside out read. So he's going to read the seam defender through to the hook curl defender, then out to the curl. So he's looking at, if the seam's open, you hit it. If these 2 guys play short, and then depending on how these 2 guys play this underneath route, he's going to look out to the curl. So let's see how this play runs out. We'll run it at full speed. You can see here he's making his reads, and we get an easy completion. What he does is, as he drops back, he checks to make sure the safety's still staying high so that they're in 3. He turns and he looks, and he's reading the seam defender. He's reading through the hook curl to the seam. He sees the hook curl is playing aggressively just outside leverage, so his fullback's going to curl over the middle. He knows that. And then he sees that the seam is still being pinched. So from there, he just turns. And what he's also doing is he's checking the outside third defender. He's making sure that as this receipt goes, that the third is going to drop deep as well. And so that just opens up Morris right here. And he just throws it. Easy pitch and catch. And we gain 16 yards. When you have a quarterback who can work zone coverage, this looks just like what Brady did when he was working this same play. I believe it was the second play of the drive, or that the second play of the sequence when they ran that play 3 times in a row. That's exactly how the Rams played it, and he threw it to his running back over there. So let's now go to this play. This is against man coverage. Again, Jimmy didn't look horrible against every man coverage. It depended on if his receivers could win or not. So we're going to run, I really like this play that Shanahan draws up, but they're just in man coverage again across the board. And then what they're also going to do is they're going to run a lurk defender and then a deep zone defender. And so I want to show how this works out, because what we're going to do is we're going to take Selleck here and we're going to run him on a curl over the middle, and then we're going to take Kittle here and we're going to run him on a post. This is what's called a sucker concept. I've talked about it before. I showed it in a play in the red zone. The idea is you're going to suck up the underneath lurk defender and then break inside, and then we're going to just have Breda here on a little out route. This is Pettis. We're going to run him on a seam, and then we're just going to run Garcon on an in. So this is a dagger concept up here. So what Garoppolo is going to do is he's going to look off this lurk defender and hit Kittle right here. And Kittle runs a very good route. So let's watch this and see how this works out. We'll run at full speed here. So you can see the lurk defender is occupied, and Garoppolo makes a really good throw here. He throws it into a very tight space. On the broadcast, I know a lot of us probably freaked out, thought he was pulling his gunslinger thing, but he was just actually making a very good read. So here, as the defenders are going, you see this defender's on the running back. He's pulling out with the inside release to Selleck. Garoppolo is going to look down the middle and look to Selleck, and what he's trying to do is grab this lurk defender, which he does. And so here he sees the lurk defender's captured. This linebacker doesn't have his eyes on Garoppolo. He's got his eyes on the running back. And here Kittle beats his man well and just takes a nice hard jab step inside. Not sure why he's throwing his arms up. But you can see how quickly Garoppolo sees it and throws the ball. And it looks like he should have led his guy a little bit more, but if I show it from the end zone, you'll see how tight this window is that he threw the ball into. So here we'll go to the end zone view. Now I should also mention that we motioned somebody across, and that revealed man coverage. But here you'll see he throws it right in this lane. He threw it a little bit behind him, so he wasn't leading into the path of the lurk defender. So it's just this is the kind of stuff that makes Jimmy Garoppolo special and so fun to watch. And what's so exciting about him playing is that he can make plays like this that it looks to maybe a casual viewer like he's making a really risky throw, but it's just actually a really good play. So the last play I want to talk about is again coming back to zone coverage and why the Lions went with man coverage all the time. Because against zone coverage, what I counted was Garoppolo was 11 of 13 with 2 touchdowns. So you can see he was extremely efficient against zone. Now, and there was actually one zone play that doesn't count that we had a 20-yard pass interference call that the Lions could not play zone against us in this game. It just couldn't happen. And that's why they went to man coverage. The problem was we didn't have Goodwin and we didn't have Jerick McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon could have been used. Matt Breida did not do very well against man coverage in this game. He's not a great route runner to shake somebody loose. He's got really good speed, but Jerick McKinnon is really, really good at that. That was why he was signed over. And then Goodwin has that kind of speed to threaten defenders so that he's able to break free on man coverage. We saw it last year against different teams, or I shouldn't say last year, it was 2017, that Goodwin broke free. Him and Garoppolo had a really good chemistry. Well, here we don't have those two guys, and so that had a huge impact on this game. So here, but getting back to this play, the Lions are just in zone coverage. It's just cover 3. It's just like I showed earlier. It's just four deep, 3 underneath. So you have deep, deep, and deep, and then we're gonna have curl flat. We're gonna have hook curl, curl flat. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come here, and we have this is Kittle here in short, and excuse me, this is Trent Taylor. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna run him. We're gonna run him on a wheel route. If I can make this actually click. So he's gonna stem outside, and then he's gonna run up the field. Garcon over here, he's going to run a dig, and we're going to take Pettis from the inside, and we're going to run him on a dig. So we have a double dig concept, and then what we're going to do is we're going to fake a run, and Braid is just going to leak out here into the flat. So what this is this is going to work almost like a flood concept. The idea is as this dig comes in, it's going to pull this deep third defender away, and that should get Trent Taylor running up the sideline. What Detroit does here is they match it very well, and we're going to see that. So, and then they play this backside dig pretty well. This corner never sits down, and so because you're looking at to try and hit this corner over the top with the double dig, but he ends up dropping back, waiting for the route coming across the middle, and they bite on Garcon, and they match Trent Taylor. So what we're going to see is Garoppolo work this progression very well. He's going to get deep into his progression. So here you see there's a run action fake. The idea is it's sucking the guys up. As Garoppolo turns around, you can see here he's checking this corner, and he sees him bail. So he moves on. He's checking the safety. You can see these underneath defenders are dropping in that path. But this hook curl defender never bites on the play across, and he never bites underneath. So he drops back into this seam area, which takes away Garcon's route. And so then Garoppolo moves to look to Taylor, who should be open considering the deep third defender is following Garcon, but his defender has matched him well. And so from there, Garoppolo moves on. He's now moving on to his fourth receiver, to Breda, who's leaking out into the flat, who's got a ton of room. And he catches it, and he kind of catches it a little awkwardly. And I mean, just if you've seen my Tevin Coleman video, imagine Tevin Coleman here or Jerick McKinnon, and this play goes for a lot. But it still ends up going for 9 yards. But here you see this is why Detroit couldn't play zone, because when they played zone, Jimmy Garoppolo was dicing them up. That he could get deep into his progressions, and he just would work the progression. It was very similar to when you see teams try and play zone against Brady a lot, that you can't do it. You end up getting diced up all the time, and there's not much you can do. So hope you enjoyed the video. This is, again, Jimmy Garoppolo's review of his 2018 season. You know, I know there's been a lot of things said. To me, this game, were there a couple plays that Garoppolo could have thrown the ball away or done something different? Probably. Mm-hmm. But I also look at it that this was a game where we really just struggled beating man coverage. That, you know, we had our big man cover beaters were not there in the game, and then you're trying to put a lot on the shoulders of a young guy in Dante Pettis, and he didn't rise to the occasion the whole game. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, hit like. If you want to subscribe to the channel, go ahead. Thank you to all the people who've subscribed. Can't believe I'm at the amount of subscribers I've had, over 1,100 now. That's awesome. So thank you all very much. Sorry for the long video, and hope you have a great day.